What's the date today? The 4th? Yeah, it's the 4th. Let's start the Not So Live feed. Hello everybody, and welcome. Thank you for tuning in as you do here and there. I'm, of course, Dan, at least on paper. And we're gonna start the show. Yeah. It's fun when I don't have a script because I just pull everything out of my ass. But we're gonna start the show. Today's show, we got video game news, we got a lot of movie news, we got a review of Star Wars. Yes, only like 3 or 4 weeks after it came out, but Star Wars. Finally got around to seeing it. But, as we do, let's start with something humorous. We're gonna get a double dose of humor. Speaking of Star Wars, took both of these pictures today as I was watching Law and Order, and we have Adam Driver as a perp, or more of a pervert, I guess, as he set up cameras in somebody's house. But yeah, it was just weird to see him. Yeah, it was weird, but I had to snag those shots real quick. But Adam Driver, Law and Order, Special Victims Unit. Hey! But now, we're gonna do what we need to do. We're gonna start some news. And we're gonna go with gaming news. Because why not? Two things. Two at once. It seems every week I can no longer get away from the PlayStation experience. And we have two things that came up out of it. The Last of Us Part 2, yeah, again, it cut off the Part 2, but fine. And the new God of War. During their actual presentations, they were both talked about, and it seems that one of the writers of The Last of Us 2 has already said that the game itself might be about 50% done. So, you know, that's actually noteworthy. Just kind of know where they're at with that game. And since we got God of War down here as well, it was also noted that God of War seems like it might have a pretty substantial campaign. They're clocking it right now at roughly 25 hours, so that's something. That's some good news on both of these. Two awesome games. Yeah. Hey, Mad Cats. Yeah, I hate Mad Cats. But it appears that it is resurrecting itself again under new management. The Mad Cats brand, which is, you know, very famous for making, like, accessories, controllers, third-party pieces of crap, as I personally call them, but that's just my view. Never had really a good experience with Mad Catz controllers, except for when I took a hammer to one back in the day. That was fun. But Mad Catz, new management, new products, maybe. Who knows? They did make a lot of the Rock Band, like, peripherals, if I'm not mistaken. So they're not all evil. It's just I personally have had a lot of issues with their controllers. Back in the PS2 era, so maybe now in the PS4, Xbox One era, they'll actually have something going for them. So, but Mad Catz is coming back. In other video
Talk about it,
sort of. I think I edited some parts of it out just because. But if you watched my video of that I did of Fortnite where I was playing and dying a lot, I talked about how Fortnite's Battle Royale mode is essentially kind of a ripoff of PlayerUnknown's Battle Royale, or whatever that game is officially called. We're just going to call it PlayerUnknown. But, well, there's a new one being thrown into the mix. I don't know anything about this game called Paladins, but they had a new teaser come out, and they are now adding their own Battle Royale, or Battlegrounds mode, as they're calling it. Now, some of the stuff I think I cut out was talking about licensing and a few things. The only argument really here is, okay, PlayerUnknown made a game. They used the Unreal Engine, which is owned by Epic, who made Fortnite. So therefore, when Fortnite more or less ripped off their style, how are you really going to argue because they are the ones who made and licensed your engine? Now we have this new mix in the Paladin, which I don't know which engine or who they're under, but this kind of seems like, there's this field of gray with cloned games. What was it, when DayZ came out, and then Infest, or whatever, it was called something else before they renamed it, the bad zombie game, even though, I digress. But, like, the whole clone games, and there's this big field of gray, but now this, so, that's something. And finally, to end gaming news this week, it seems like we're never going to avoid this. We started the show with this. We're going to have more of it here, and there's a review later. but a mod has surfaced for Star Wars Battlefront 2, and you get to play as Kylo Ren in his orange safety jumpsuit gear, made kind of infamous by the SNL skit. So that's something that's a thing now. Oh, I can't remember what his character's name was off the top. Maybe I'll put it like right somewhere under here if I could point properly. But yeah, they now have a mod introduced where you can play as that version of Kylo Ren. So yeah, that's a thing. That's gonna end it for gaming news. But as we did last week, there's gonna be a little transition here before we get into movie and television news. I think. Yeah, it's time for one of those vintage Vine reviews. And now, a vintage Vine review. I remember this game. I made a pile of poo that steams when you move. Yeah! Now, wasn't that special? We're about to get into some movie news and maybe television news, depending how you look at it. Right now. Starting us off this week, we don't want to be political here. This is not a political show, but it's kind of funny. We had to mention this. John Bernthal of Punisher fame pretty much came out more or less just telling all the right-wing people that, you know, are big fans of him to fuck off, to put it blatantly. He plays Frank Castle, you know, guns galore. You could call that whatever you want. Definitely, you know, Second Amendment. First is freedom of speech. Second Amendment up and down the board. But yeah, his message to a lot of the strong right-wing people, fuck off. So yeah, just had to throw that in there because, you know, Punisher. We got a trailer for Slender Man. Ooh. I watched this trailer and it was good. I am very intrigued. Sony Pictures making a full movie about, you know, the good old Slender Man, good old Slendy Goo. Go back way into my channel. There's a video somewhere of me playing the Slender Man, the Arrival game. But just the trailer, I enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, go see it, because I'm going to ruin one part of it right now. Yep. With the girl in the class, the whole like thing about Slenderman getting in your mind, and then she's like holding the little scalpel, and then you see blood squirt on the other person, so you know what she did. Like, she had to. It looks good. I really hope it has an R rating. I don't recall seeing a rating on it at this time, but yeah, it looks good and creepy, and maybe somebody will look for 8 pages. Maybe. News? Some sad news. There will be no Wubba Lubba Dub Dub anytime soon. Or at least not in 2018. 2018, it seems, as it just, according to some of the kind of writers, we won't be seeing Rick and Morty anytime soon. They're going to be working on a new season. We know that. We didn't get the Christmas thing like some people were suspecting with Mr. Poopy Buttle talking about Whitebeard. There was nothing there. More or less, yeah. It doesn't seem likely we're going to see it until 2019. That's not too surprising considering how long it took to get Season 3. And we did get the little April Fool's joke, but then how many months after that until we actually got Season 3 legitimately? It was a while. So, sad face there. Sad face, but as long as we get it, and like if it's good and it builds on like it, they need to have at least one episode building on the whole evil Morty thing, because that was a good storyline. That was a good callback. So yeah, no Wubba Lubba Dub Dub anytime soon. Finally, in movie news, I have something I'm looking forward to, courtesy of Empire, because we couldn't get a photo that didn't have their branding. So props to Empire, they had the article. We got this shot. I'm looking at it over here because it's so good. Here, I'll look at it over there. It's not as good. I look at it here, it's better. This shot just got released very recently, and it shows us, Mr. Jason Statham here. And there's a big piece of glass here. Like, the bigger shot that I saw on a video, on another person's video, gave it a little bit better justice. but he's comes face to face more or less. He's always looking at us, but whatever. That's the shark. That's Meg. I can't stop looking at it because it's just, I like it a lot. I really hope this movie doesn't suck. Like, I think I've said it before, The Shallows, 47 Meters Down were amazingly good. They used CG when they had to, but I believe they used it convincingly. I need to do a shark video. We'll do that later. That's a different topic. Look for that in the future. The use, I know I showed that one shot that had the giant green screen, so depending who they use, there's potential here either way. It could go either way. If they use CG in the way that 47 Meters and The Shallows did, this should be a really good movie. If they go the route of Shark Night and like Sharknado and all those, this could be a dumb movie, but I think that they got the budget that they actually are going to put some effort into it. Here's hoping, because again, that shot, let's just take a moment to admire that shot. I wish he wasn't standing there, but you know, he has to. That's a good shot. Alright, it's not as good as my favorite shot still. Again, shark movie video later, but I have to mention The Shallows, the shot with the wave and the shadow of the shark. Is one of the greatest shots in movies to me. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Go see The Shallows. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. Go right now. You can pause the video. You can go watch The Shallows right now. I'll still be here. I'm not going anywhere. Although I do have a review coming up, so you know, maybe stick around for the review. Then go watch The Shallows. Will you do that for me? You'll do that for me. Alright. News is over. And now, a vintage Vine review. Killer graphics for its time. A lot scarier than the first one. Just a generic first-person shooter. We have a review for Star Wars: The Last Jedi. So, as we do, we're gonna... The spoilers, if you want spoilers, by all means. I avoided them for the longest time. They'll be after the little after credit thing. Until that point, let's see, Star Wars. I didn't see it right away. The date on here is in, like, was it 13th, 18th? I don't know. But I saw it a couple days ago, like the 2nd of January. So I saw it 3-4 weeks after it came out. I actually avoided spoilers, which was kind of surprising. Overall, thought it was really good. Thought it built on a lot of what The Force Awakens did. Mark Hamill's role in it was really good. Again, I have to dance around. I'm dancing around the spoilers because I like to. It's more fun that way. I think the first and second movie focused, or not the first and second, that's dumb. The Force Awakens, there we go, focused a lot on Poe and Finn. This one, since they've been established, they were in it, they just didn't seem like the main focus. It was more on Rey and Luke. Cool, and then Kylo and Rey, and but there's a lot of stuff that happened in it without, like, that is hard to talk about without spoiling things. I'm intrigued at how we know this is a trilogy, there's going to be another one in like 2 years. How it's setting up for that one is intriguing, because I don't know where they're going to go exactly. I know where they're going to go, but I don't know how exactly. Visually, this movie's really good. Like, the space battles are on point. There's a scene that's really good that I'll have to talk about later. You know when. But that scene is really good. There's one scene, which I gotta talk about later, that is really stupid. That's probably the only thing I really didn't like about this. Well, there's two things I didn't. There's three things. One of them I can talk about because it's not a spoiler. The Porg, those little purple puffin, not purple, orange puffin things are stupid, and they make annoying sounds, and I don't like them. So, that's a thing. And there's a scene, this is not really spoiling territory, but there's a scene that builds up to thinking you're gonna see a certain character come back, but you don't, and it's not that. But we got a different character instead. So, overall though, yeah, again, like, without spoiling movies, reviewing them is kind of tricky, but visually good, couple stupid points. There's no Jar Jar Binks. That's not a spoiler, I'm sorry, but there's no Jar Jar. Oh, I just realized that. What's the point of having a prop if you're not going to use it for a review? I'm not going to go through and re-record all this. It's a waste of time. Oh, I'm just going to get up and I'm going to drag Mr. Boba Fett over here. He's not a spoiler at all. He's not in the movie either. I was sad by that. But he's dead, depending on what you want to believe. I really think we should get a Boba Fett origin movie. We get a Han Solo one next year. Or this year, 2018? Yeah. I think it's this year. Overall, though, go see it. If you like sci-fi movies, yeah. I think you should see it. I saw it. Brought the girlfriend to it, and she's not huge on Star Wars-y movies, but she really enjoyed it and like was really wrapped in with the characters, so I think she would give it a go see it. So that's 2 go see it's. Yeah. That's gonna do it for this week's show. Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for sitting here with me. Means a lot, you know. Gotta do those things. You gotta hit the like button. It's probably right here. It's right here now, because I put it there. There's a subscribe button over here. It's not actually a button. It's just a sticker. Sorry. But you should, do that if you haven't already, and you should spread me like the plague. What better note to end the show on? Until the next video. I'll see you then. You understand? So, I'm not going to talk like that the entire time. What's the point? I hope this comes off clear. We'll see. Spoilers. Lots of them. Princess Leia doesn't die. Like, I know that it's kind of hard when you have a real actress die, like in the real world, how you're going to play it off. A lot of people were assuming somehow this was going to be the end, like they were going to find a way. She dies, gets sucked out into space, but the Force, she uses the Force and is brought back in. That's one, I thought that was freaking stupid. Like, I thought they gave her a noble death, more or less. Like, with Kylo, like, I can't take the shot, and then somebody's like, yeah, screw it, I can. Boom! She did. They killed General Akbar in the process. He dead. No more traps. No more notifying us of traps. General Snook, or Commander Snooky, he dies. He gets sliced in half in a kind of a cool way. Like, how it's all, like, he's describing what Kylo's doing. Like, he's turning the lightsaber, but it's actually one sitting next to him, and then it slices him right in the midsection, and he dies. So we never really find out more about him. He's dead now. And then Kylo takes over. Like, him and Rey have a scene where they're working together against Snook's, like, private guards, and it's really good lightsaber battles with fire burning. But he's like, you can join me, we can rule. And she's like, no, you can be good. And then the conflict, and no, that doesn't happen. Luke Skywalker's role is really good. Yoda's back, sort of. He's the ghost apparition force thing. They burn some books. Luke projects himself, has a battle with Kylo after, like, getting blasted into oblivion. Makes magical dice appear, leaves them there, only for Kylo to pick them up, and then they disappear. That's a weird scene. They send out a signal, Leia's still alive, Poe's alive, Finn's alive, all these people. And the resistance is strong, the rebels are gonna fight, that the war is just beginning. So, I don't know what else to say. That kind of works. I mentioned they were building up a scene where you think it's somebody else, like they have to find a code breaker. The way they're describing it, almost, to me personally, I thought they were going to introduce Lando. It was going to be him, but it turned out to be the role that Benicio del Toro was playing. So he did a really good role, but I thought they were building it up to Lando. Kind of bummed out that he didn't know Billy D. Williams, but hey, what it is, right? Now that it's out, though, I gotta watch some of the videos that show you all the things you missed, because I know there's a lot of little ins and outs. Like cameos, Easter eggs. There's probably a lot of things I missed. Maybe somebody edited Jar Jar into the background again like they did with The Force Awakens. That was good. Alright. Finally kicking us off for movie news. I don't like using that term. I'll probably edit it out. And finally kicking us off. No, I just said I don't like using that term. I don't. That's an extreme hardcore nerds thing. I don't do that. Those are the old days.